My club burnt down last night. Police asked questions. Staff asked questions. Some of the regulars did too. They wanted to know if it was electrical. They asked about surveillance. They asked if I had any idea who would do something like this. I told them no. I said I didn't see anything on the cameras. I said I didn't know who would want to destroy what I built. That's what I said out loud. That's what made sense to say. Because some truths don't belong to the room. Some truths stay locked behind your teeth. And in the back of my mind, where I don't explain myself to anyone, I knew exactly who would do this. Sometimes people want the spotlight so badly, they don't realize what it exposes. Because when the light stays on you long enough, everything shows. Sometimes I think humans struggle with control. The tighter you grip something, the more it starts looking for a way to escape. Flaws, contradictions, the parts you hoped no one would notice. I know I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, just like you. Just like everyone else. Control doesn't protect you from that. It just delays the moment. When the truth steps forward, flaws don't disappear. They wait. Contradictions don't go away. They learn how to hide. And the longer the spotlight stays on you, the harder it becomes to pretend. You're untouched by it. Because when someone builds their identity around being your center, your independence feels like betrayal. Your silence feels like rejection. And your growth? That feels like loss. And people don't always grieve quietly. And when control finally slips, it doesn't fall apart quietly. It leaves evidence. My name is Lex, and before the fire, before the smoke, there was her. Beautiful, not the cute kind. The kind that stops a room, the kind you don't just look at, you feel. She walked in like God turned the brightness up. A spark, loud, bright, addictive. I treated her like art, flawless even when she wasn't. Maybe I ignored the cracks. Maybe I wanted to. I loved her loud, too loud. I love hard, maybe too hard. Loved her like air, like without her, I'd choke. Maybe that was my mistake. When you love someone more than yourself, you stop noticing when they stop loving you back the same. Silence starts to feel normal. You excuse the attitude, you swallow the tension, you take the cuts as just a bad day. You keep proving you're loyal while pieces of you go missing. Blind love becomes desperate. Desperate becomes dangerous. And now my club is ash. My peace is gone. And the woman I once put above myself might be the same one who lit the match. This isn't love anymore. It's a lesson.
My name is Reiyna Fuego. I come from a decent family that already had my future planned. Structure, tradition, appearances. There was a way my life was supposed to go, and a version of me they expected to exist. Lex wasn't part of their vision. Neither was the version of myself I became with him. They didn't trust him. They didn't respect the decision. And they didn't hide their disappointment. Choosing him felt like choosing myself. And in my family, that wasn't independence. It was defiance. Love didn't look romantic where I came from. It looked controlled, measured, approved. So when I chose differently, I didn't just step outside their expectations. I stepped outside their protection. And once you do that, you learn very quickly who you are. When no one is guiding you anymore. I loved the way Lex looked at me, like I was rare, like I was chosen, like nothing else in the room mattered once I walked in. At first, it felt safe, grounding, like proof that I was worth something outside of who my family told me to be. He admired me openly, not in a way that felt overwhelming, in a way that felt intentional, consistent, focused. He paid attention to how I dressed, to how my hair was treated, to what touched my skin. I felt elevated, protected, cherished. And when someone looks at you that way consistently, you don't question it, you receive it, you let yourself believe that being admired is the same thing as being loved. He treats me like I deserve gentleness. I love this. After leaving my family, after choosing myself, What woman wouldn't want to be adored like this? I deserve it, right?
It wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was just the way her eyes followed me, hungry for every glance, every word, every heartbeat that wasn't hers to own. Reiyna didn't ask for attention. She claimed it. With a touch to my chin, a stare too deep to refuse. A question that felt like a command dressed in honey. If I laughed at my phone too long, her mood shifted like weather. Warm one second, storm the next. She'd go quiet. That heavy quiet that makes the room hold its breath. She never raised her voice. She didn't have to. Her silence made me apologize for things I didn't even understand yet. She'd crawl into my lap like she owned the throne, kiss soft, ask sweet, but her eyes watched, wanted proof I was hers. If my attention wandered, her touch turned sharp. Love felt like velvet with a blade beneath it, and God help me, I stayed anyway. Sometimes love feels like velvet, soft, warm, easy. Until one day it asks for proof. Proof you're loyal. Proof you're present. Proof you still choose them. Even when you just want a night to breathe. One night I wanted to go out with the fellas. Nothing wild, just pool, jokes, fresh air. But Reiyna doesn't do without her well. First came the questions, then came the accusations, then came the storm. Why do you get to go? Other wives don't care like I care. Or do you want a woman like them instead? There's never a right answer when insecurity wears perfume. I told her I'd be back in a few hours. Tomorrow we could go to dinner, just us. She stared like I handed her betrayal wrapped in silk, so I grabbed my keys and left. When I came home, my suits were shredded, clean cuts through expensive cloth. Like rage had trembling hands and a point to prove. And the messed up part? I didn't explode. I apologized in my head, told myself she loved me too much, told myself devotion looks like sacrifice, but sometimes love isn't devotion. Sometimes it's possession dressed as passion.
Lex is always complaining about me, how I get mad, how I cry, how I shut down. But does he ever tell you why? What he does that gets me there? He makes me react, then acts like my reaction is the problem. He keeps things from me, information I should know as his wife. And when he goes out, phone's off, no answer, hours gone. Tell me what woman doesn't feel something when that happens. He says I'm dramatic. I say I'm responding to distance, to silence, to feeling last to know. I'm not crazy. I'm not unstable. I'm reacting to a man who changed first.
He used to adore me, now I'm guessing, wondering, waiting. And anger is just love with nowhere to go. So tell me, what woman wouldn't feel something boiling from that? I'm not the villain. I'm the wife who noticed when the love got quiet. So if I raise my voice, maybe it's because silence hurt louder.
Little things kept going wrong. My keys went missing. Meetings accidentally ruined. Inventory touched. Drinks swapped. Orders wrong. Staff confused. Money off. Problems that didn't exist yesterday. Every time I asked, it was always an accident. It wasn't one big mistake. It was a pattern. Small enough to explain away. Constant enough to slow me down. Every step forward came with resistance. And somehow, I was always the one apologizing for being frustrated.
I don't care about that club. I never asked for it. I don't see the point of it. It don't add nothing to us. It just takes him away from me. So no, I'm not excited. I'm not involved. And I'm not pretending like I am. He act like I'm supposed to support something that broke us. Like I'm supposed to clap while he disappear into it. That club don't feel like a dream to me. I feel like a wedge. Something that came between us and stayed.
People think love leaves loud. It doesn't. Sometimes it stays so long, it teaches you how to disappear quietly. I didn't wake up one day and give myself away. I just kept choosing peace over problems, calm over conflict, her comfort over my questions. I told myself that's what a man does. Hold it together. Don't complain. Don't push back. Just keep things from blowing up. So when things started going missing, when plans kept falling apart, when my wins felt like they offended her, I made excuses. I loved her, and love makes you protect people, even when they're the ones hurting you. I kept telling myself it wasn't that bad, that it would pass, that if I stayed quiet long enough, things would calm down again. When the club burned down, everybody wanted answers. The police, the staff, the people who watched me build it. And I stood there, knowing exactly what happened, knowing, and being ready to say it, aren't the same thing. Because once you speak certain truths out loud, you don't just lose a person, you lose the life you built around them. I stayed quiet, not because I didn't know, not because I was scared of the truth, but because part of me still loved her, more than what I lost. And that's the part nobody warns you about. Sometimes the deepest damage isn't what gets taken from you, it's what you give up. Trying to keep love alive. I don't know if silence saved me, or cost me everything. I just know I'm still here. Learning how to breathe again. I hid the footage, I kept her safe, I stayed. I watched her destroy what I built more than once, and still blamed myself for it. That's the fork nobody talks about. When protecting someone else means betraying yourself, and no matter which way you turn, something burns.